Hey Harmonizers, welcome to this video where we are taking Tom's Treasure to her first off-site experience. And we went to this obstacle show where we got to go in the ring and do some obstacles first. We got there a little later than we had planned because of traffic, so we ended up only having time to do everything in hand. We just kind of went in and only had about 15 minutes or so to do what we could, and I was super impressed that she basically did everything. We got over the bridges, the water boxes, and that's Natalie who was working with Tom's Treasure, and then I had King and Sarah had Newton. So I'll do those guys in different videos. And she was, able to stand really calm and kind of take it in. So we ended up going for a bit of a ride, and I started off with Natalie just leading me on a rope. I just wanted to make sure everything was set up for success for Tom's Treasure because it's her first off-site and we are not in a fenced-in ring. And Tom's Treasure had actually never ridden outside before. So we've only ever ridden in our indoor arena. We've never rode outside. We've never been anywhere together. And this is all new. So I thought, it's not fenced in. There's like literally stuff and people everywhere. So I thought, let's have Natalie lead us, just keep it really safe, really set up for success. I really want to make sure she's set up to have a great future. And that means that if I were to fall off because she startled at something, that would really set her up to be kind of spooky and not give her a great start. So it's always better if horses can have confident rides where they're positive experiences. You'll keep progressing. And that means not being too proud or having an ego to do what's going to help set the horse up for success. So here I am going for my little walk with Tom's Treasure, and you can see she's looking a little bit, she's got her head up and her ears are pricked and she's kind of looking here and there, but she's walking pretty good and she's trusting Natalie. You can see we're going by cars and all sorts of things. And so we're just going with Natalie on that walk and trying to keep her focused a little bit. And then after I get her settled, then I'll go for a little bit of a walk on my own, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. But overall, we're just focusing on keeping her relaxed, keeping her calm, keeping her attention, not letting her stare and gawk at other things. And you can see she's looking really, really good. Her pace that she's going, her rhythm is looking really nice. And even though her head's up and she's looking around, that's totally to be expected. She's a 4-year-old horse at this point and has never been anywhere, never rode outside or anything. So this is all new and definitely expected to be a little bit anxious or upset. And she's just going along pretty nicely, which is fantastic. She starts to do a little bit of some blowing out, which is nice. And when I'm riding her, I'm always kind of waiting for her to do her itch her leg thing. And there you can see when she kind of shakes her head and kind of blows out, that's her just letting out some tension. And then for her, the big release comes after she stops and rubs her nose on her leg. Then I know that she's really settling. That's kind of her tell. Not every horse does that by any means, but I've definitely learned with Tom's Treasure that that is a huge thing for her. And for those of you guys that don't know, Tom's Treasure is a little palomino Mustang from Antelope Valley, Nevada that I picked up and named her after Tom, who was in the military and ended up taking his own life. And so she's named Tom's Treasure in memory of Tom. And every time I take her out, I like to just kind of remind people about how important mental health is, talking about mental health, how important it is to support our military, our veterans. They're important and their mental health is important. And just helping to live on that memory of Tom. So anyways, back to Tom's Treasure. Here we go on our walk. You can see now we're going into a different area. It was a really neat place to be because it was busy, but very positive energy. There's cars. There's this little path we went on. There was a pig and a duck and all sorts of things that we passed while here. She got to see lots of things. And because there's so much going on, it was just really nice to have Natalie there and have Tom's Treasure on a rope just in case she needed that ground support. She ended up doing really well though. And we make our little change of direction. You can see she's going by an outhouse, and little things can sometimes cause big reactions. She's at a new experience, and you can see now that her head's starting to come lower. She's starting to be more at ease with where she is. But in the beginning, when she had her head kind of up and you're going around, that can be very nerve-wracking for the horse. And the last thing you want is somebody to come out of the outhouse as you're going by, or the rogue pig to come on by. That could be enough to set any horse, and especially a young horse that's never rode outside before, could completely startle them and just make it a really scary experience for them. So it's really nice to have that ground support just in case, just to give that little bit of extra confidence. So here we're practicing just standing for a little bit. We're taking in the whole show environment, and she did really well with standing and not being upset by any of that. And so then you can see Natalie took the rope off, and we just did a little bit of walking without Natalie, and then kind of go a little bit more and a little bit more. And because we're just kind of riding out on a path, there's no, warm-up ring or anything like that we have an opportunity to ride in. There's lots going on, not fenced in or anything like that. So we decided not to test our luck and go trotting or cantering or anything like that. I thought there's enough going on here that we can just walk and have the goal to be walking really relaxed. And then that way too, Tom's Treasure is thinking, okay, when I go off site, we just stay calm and relaxed. We're not like bringing up the adrenaline and going really fast or anything like that. I want her to go to her next event and just be just as chill. See, like there's a good example. You have Rogue Kid just, trotting by holding, I don't know what they're holding a bucket, holding a bag. I'm not really sure, but that's just a great example of why it's great to just have that ground support to start with and just not make an assumption that everything's going to be okay. There comes the nice rub of the leg that I was talking about. That's her little tell that she's really starting to relax and be at ease with things. You can see there's a dog that's loose in the background as well. And we're at an extreme cowboy type show where the horses are, really well broke, and, you're doing obstacle races where you do all sorts of crazy things. So it's not like this show is unreasonable or something like that. All the horses here are kind of trained for this kind of stuff. It's just that I was going with Newton and King, and I thought, you know what, I've got a third spot on the trailer. I may as well bring Tom's Treasure for her first offsite and see how she does out there. And you can see we do a little bit of turning around, a little bit of backup, and she's listening really, really nicely. Gets her little cookie there, doing a little bit of forwards, riding the best we can in the space that we have, doing a little bit of sideways here, doing a little bit of sideways in both directions, which she does really well at. And overall, she's listening really nicely. I really like to see that she lowered her head. So I decided, all right, let's hop off. That's really great. And then I focused on the boys for the rest of the day. And she tied really well to the trailer. She has come a long way in her herd. Yes, that's a horsey. That's Evelyn in the background. She has come a really long way with her herd confidence of being able to tie to the trailer and not be upset about the other horses being beside her. That's a long way for her. She used to be very kicky with her hind end because she didn't have a lot of confidence. So that's doing really, really awesome. Here's another little look at the trailer, sniffing another horse there and just being okay with it, which is awesome. So this was all a really positive experience for her. I was really happy to bring her out for her first opportunity. And she loaded great on the trailer, and then we headed home. So I hope you guys enjoyed coming on Tom's Treasure first official ride outside.